What's going on, everybody? My name is Tim Williams, and we're here to break down a two-game slate, a two-game Cactus League slate this afternoon. Our first game starts at 8:05 Eastern time, and you have the Washington Nationals going against the Houston Astros. And then later on at 8 p.m. Eastern time, the LA Dodgers are going to be going against the Cincinnati Reds. And we'll take a quick look at who's starting. We now have our lineups out. And real quick, I really do want to get this out of the way. Sonny Gray is listed as starting this game, and he was actually just pulled. We don't know why. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but either way, he's not actually in this game. I'm sure DraftKings will update this pitching list, but it looks like Vladimir Gutierrez is pitching in this game. Let me let's take a look. Vladimir Gutierrez. I spelled it totally wrong. But yes, Vladimir Gutierrez, he's a Cuban pitcher, he's 25 years old, has pitched 2 innings, 2 hits, or has pitched 2 innings this spring training, gave up 2 hits, a run, 2 strikeouts. We do know he's an undrafted guy, signed out of Cuba, went through single A, double A, triple A, career ERA in the minors and in the Dominican Winter League is just a hair under 5. So not very great. Might be a bullpen guy. He's probably only going to go 1 inning. So that's all we know for now. So Sonny Gray is not in. There might be people who've already set their lineups, and hopefully they correct their lineups. But either way, you're not going to put him in. So that's going to set you ahead of, the playing field here. You have Jimmy Nelson going in for the Dodgers. And I like him as a pitcher. I'll be honest. I didn't think he would do so well his first spring training back after some surgeries, but he looked pretty good. I watched part of that game, 94, 96 miles per hour, this fastball generated at least, he got a strikeout with a slider. He missed the entire last year's season, but he's a pro, right? So he's in there, probably not going to make the rotation going out, but going against the Cincinnati Reds, and we'll take a look at their lineup. Lance McCullers, he pitched a little bit last year, looked pretty decent. He had Tommy John surgery as well. And Steven Strasburg, who's pitching against the Astros, who we don't know what we're going to get out of Houston. And so a lot of question marks going into this 4-game slate. So it really is anybody's guess, but we'll just take a look at the lineups and kind of examine. My guess is if you take chances, there's a good chance you might separate yourself from the field. But, Strasburg going against Houston, Miles Straw is a guy who they've been trusting to lead off in spring training. And he's a guy that can get on base and he will steal bases. Which, aside from home runs, stolen bases are a pretty nice commodity to have in DraftKings. Will get you some points. Jose Altuve is struggling a little bit at the plate. Might be the second best option here as for second base. Could be the top. I don't know. One of these days he's primed to break out, right? And then Michael Brantley, Uncle Mike, love this guy. This guy is just a pure hitter. Fantastic. Just a professional. You really can never go wrong when he's in the lineup. Sometimes in the regular season, he's even too cheap. So he's always a guy that if you just need somebody solid and who has a little bit of power, I like him out there. Carlos Correa hitting cleanup. Kyle Tucker, love him. One of their top prospects, had a great year last year. Yuli Gurriel really took a nosedive as far as his production at the plate last year. The powers kind of go away. He's older than you think. I think he's 34, 35 years old. So they signed him back for a 1-year deal. Not a bad option, but probably not the best option for tonight's slate. Maldonado, decent option at catcher, and then Toro in there. Definitely just a pass on that. Better real life player. And then on the other side for Washington, you have, Victor Robles. I think he got hit by a pitch the other day, but he seems to be fine. They're really testing him out at the top of the order. He hit most of last year toward the bottom. I really like him. I hope he does improve. Stevenson, they're taking a little bit of a look at him. Harrison in there is the vet who does have a little bit of power. Josh Bell, I like this kid, Luis Garcia. I think he's only 20 years old, plays a little bit of second, a little bit of short. He can steal bases. Jan Gomes at catcher. Kierboom, decent option there, but generally, no, all the salaries are the same. So, why why go down to the bottom of the order when, the top of the order is the cream of the crop, right? So decent options there to look at. And then the Dodgers, Cincinnati, again, they still have Sonny Gray listed in there, but beware, he is not starting. PSA, not starting. Nelson in there, if you want to get a little contrarian, I'm going to guess he's probably going to be owned by a fourth or 20%. Because he did look pretty good last time. And if he can throw, 95, 96 miles an hour and get guys to miss, out of all four of these teams, the Cincinnati Reds strike out the most. They're all actually they don't strike out that much, but Dodgers, Nationals, and Astros, they're kind of not much of strikeout teams, but yeah, Cincinnati Reds do have that swing and miss potential. So Jimmy Nelson going against the Reds. Shogo, watched him a lot last year. Not overall not too impressed, but definitely rooting for him. But and then you got Moose and Castellanos and Suarez, just a lot of power. Really can't go wrong. Probably going to be highly owned going against Jimmy Nelson. I don't think these guys have it quite all there yet. If I had to pick one of the three, I'd probably go Suarez, but Senzel in there, Trucker Barnhart, it gets kind of ugly. D Strange Gordon, maybe he gets on base. I love the dual, position flexibility. Can steal a base. It is spring training, so probably going to give people the green light to go. And Nicky Delmonico, no thanks. Kyle Holder, nah. And then, yeah, it looks like it's going to be Vladimir Gutierrez pitching against the Dodgers. Not a lot of starters in this, at least as far as like Mookie Betts. Looks like Turner's actually in this game, but yeah, Mookie's out. Who am I thinking of? Yeah, I don't know. Chris Taylor hitting leadoff. Max Muncy. Seager. Sorry about that. Seager is also sitting. So Chris Taylor, Max Muncy, Justin Turner, Will Smith at catcher, definitely the best catcher option on the slate, will likely be the highest owned. Look where he's hitting. Does have power. He's going to split time this year, which is unfortunate because he is a pretty good offensive hitter. And then you have Gavin Lux, AJ Pollock, who, underrated. I think he is a big part of this Dodgers lineup as long as he stays healthy. Matt Beatty, and then it's just, Lou Graley, and then skip that. So not much to love at the bottom of the order. Let's see if they have a pitcher in there. I don't even know if DraftKings has Gutierrez listed in there. So that's going to make the pitchers a little bit more chalky, a little bit more owned. So that means hitting wise, you're really going to have to try to get a little bit different. It's not too bad to have one or two hitters going against your own pitcher, especially in these smaller game slates. When there's 10, 14 games, you definitely don't want to stack any hitters going against your own pitcher. But in these smaller game slates, it is kind of beneficial to have a hitter or two off your pitcher. It is kind of negative correlation, but kind of wise to, separate yourself a little bit. So that's the rundown real quick. Like, we can kind of build a lineup. Maybe Pollock gets a little under-owned because he's hitting sixth. And Dodgers do have power. I was kind of looking forward to rostering Chris Taylor because he does hit well against Sonny Gray. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. But Max Muncy has power. Turner's, pro, and then Will Smith, love it. You can go to Gavin Lux. Again, I don't know if I want to own four guys on one team in such a small slate, but Houston, Miles Straw, like I said, like maybe that's your way of getting different. Maybe he gets on base and maybe he steals a base. Maybe he gets an extra look. He's not a veteran, so maybe he gets that extra at bat. Altuve, I like Correa, or Brantley's in there. McCullers, he's got that nasty curveball. Like, let's say you like that. And um, yeah, I don't know. And then you need another pitcher. It's definitely not going to be Sonny Gray. So maybe you do throw in Jimmy Nelson, right? And just hope that, the Cincinnati Reds are sleeping. So that's one way you can build your roster a little bit. You can maybe bank on the fact that Strasburg is going to pitch 2 full innings. He is coming off that injury, so they said he might pitch 2, but I wouldn't be surprised if he only goes 1, depending on how much he pitches. And then, yeah, so that's one way. Then you get Jimmy Nelson in there if you think, if you think that McCullers is not going to have a good day, which it's possible. Sometimes he falls a little flat. The fastball is not there. So you can get there. And then, like, if you are, going Washington, like Robles, Harrison, Bell, Garcia, I love those guys. Gomes has power, so that's an option too. And then with the Reds, hitting wise, I like Suarez for sure. Castellanos can hit the ball out of the park. He's always in play. Maybe D Gordon gets on and steals a base. So those are your options. Don't be afraid to get a little bit weird in this slate. This one is going to be wacky, or don't even play it at all. But educate yourself on who's in and who's out and stuff like that. And maybe just play one of the free slates. I don't know. It is going to be different. But again, my name's Tim Williams, and we'll be breaking down spring training games and MLB games. If you learned something new today, hit that that thumbs up, and I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you can. If not, that's fine. But yeah, looking forward to talking about baseball all year. And until next time, I'll see you later.